Holy moly, NIO stock has literally made millionaires in the last 1 year, and this is no joke. This is the reason why long-term investors with high conviction in their picks do become wealthy over time, and there's no secret formula for it except to just let your investments play out. If you put $1,000 into NIO just 1 year ago, your investment would be worth nearly $20,000 here today. So guys, this is no joke. But full disclosure guys, I am a NIO shareholder. I did buy stocks of NIO last year, and my cost basis is around $6 or so, just slightly underneath that. So I am up quite nicely on this position. So hey, maybe it's a bit biased in this video, but I'm gonna share my perspective and try to give you the facts here on why I think NIO stock just keeps going up. So I mean, safe to say NIO stock is pretty much headed to the moon. It's on fire. So what comes next? In this video, I want to discuss a few things. First, let's talk about what is driving NIO stock higher. Next, where do I see NIO in the next few years? And then finally, let's discuss what you can do with your NIO investments. Is it too late to buy into the stock? Let's talk about that a bit. So guys, take a second, drop a like down below to help out the channel. It helps it grow and I truly appreciate it. And whether you're an investor that's already invested in NIO stock or considering investing in NIO stock, I assume you're in one of these two camps if you're watching this video. You definitely want to stick around for the entire video because there's a lot of insight that I want to share with you today. So let's start with the big news. What is driving NIO stock higher? So every month, auto manufacturers give us a summary of how many vehicles they were able to deliver. Tesla, of course, does this as well, and investors have laser focus on these reports because it essentially gives us, from the manufacturer themselves, insight as to how their business is doing. The more deliveries they do, the better the company is doing. So NIO is no different. Every month they report as well, and recently they reported their numbers for October. In October, NIO delivered 5,055 vehicles, which may not feel like a huge amount, especially if you're comparing it to Tesla, but when you see the growth, guys, it's huge. Year over year, this is over 100% increase, and that is massive and shows the rate of growth NIO is seeing and the demand that NIO is seeing in China. Right now, the company sells 3 different models: the ES6, which is the most popular, followed by the ES8, and then finally the EC6. This gives them a year-to-date number of 31,430 cars, which again is a triple-digit increase of 111.4% year over year. Now here's where things get really interesting. As of the end of October, cumulative deliveries of all their cars was 63,343. So in their history, they've delivered 63,000 cars. Great, but what's exciting is that half of these deliveries have come so far in 2020. That is absolutely mind-blowing considering everything going on in the world right now, considering what China went through earlier this year, and that just shows you the brand that NIO is building and the product that consumers really want to purchase. Now, while all this is expected to slow down a bit, next year is expected to see over $4 billion in revenue from the company, equating to nearly 80% growth in their revenues as well. So you can't really talk about high growth companies without bringing up NIO because they are pretty much the definition of a high growth business. So where do I see NIO in the next few years? Okay, so this is important, so listen up. If you want to see your NIO investment double, triple, quadruple, 10x in the next 5 years, 10 years or so, you need to have a very strong bull case of how that can play out. Just simply saying, oh, I believe in the company, I believe NIO will be a better company in the future, isn't necessarily enough to say 10x your investment. You need to actually understand, oh, how is NIO going to get there? What would revenues and profits look like when they do get there? And then look at today's valuation compared to what it would be like roughly at that future valuation, and then figure out, hey, is it at a good value today? Can I actually 10x my money? So here's something interesting that I saw. By 2025, China wants to have 20% of their car sales coming from EV cars, companies like NIO and Tesla. Today, these cars only make up around 5% of the total sales in China, so this is expected to see some astronomical growth in the country over the next 4 years. Now, who's the beneficiary of this? Well, Tesla, of course, with their Shanghai factory, but NIO as well, because NIO is a Chinese company and we know the history of the Chinese government. They love their local businesses and they're going to support NIO, in my opinion, to really be the dominant player in China. Now today, these cars only sell around 1.1 million units combined amongst all manufacturers, yet these companies are consistently making headlines. So just imagine the potential over the next few years as the government pushes more and more for this, the general public adopts this, and people say, hey, yeah, you know what, EV cars are good. I do want to invest in EV businesses, and a lot more money starts flowing into stocks like NIO. What I also really like about these newer companies like Tesla and NIO is that they really have the consumer in mind. Yes, their technology is miles ahead of traditional automakers, but they know what consumers want in this day and age. We want something that's essentially like a laptop or a mobile phone on wheels. We want technology at the core of it, and that's exactly what Tesla has built with their cars, and that is what NIO is building as well with their cars. And whether you like it or not, this is a clear trend that I see, and slowly but surely, traditional automakers are realizing this as well, and they have the luxury of having, traditional ICE sales, so they're still fine for the foreseeable future. However, they're forced to innovate because if they want to be relevant in the future, EV cars is the way to go. Now guys, these stats are just the tip of the iceberg. We're just talking about China right now. These companies, Tesla and NIO, plan to be global. Tesla is already global. NIO is getting there, and that opens up a whole new world for this stock. NIO actually has offices in San Jose as well as offices in Europe, so it's clear that expansion and availability of these products will come sometime soon. Now here's some more data for you. 30% of total global vehicle sales, most of them made up by hybrids, but this is a total estimate, and if battery technology rapidly improves from here with faster charging, longer range, and better cold weather durability too, I believe we will see even faster adoption from consumers, and battery cars like NIO's cars will make up a majority of the non-ICE cars. I'll say this again, this is a clear trend, there's no denying that. And if you think about what's happened over the last decade or so, manufacturers have slowly phased out manual cars. Why is that? Well, consumers don't want to have to deal with manually changing gears. They want to just sit in their car, press the gas, and go. As a result, most manufacturers have phased out manual models, and yeah, there is a niche that still wants that, but I mean the mass markets don't. So that's something manufacturers have done. Now, if you think logically, consumers are lazy, they don't want to change gears, wouldn't they prefer just sitting in the car and letting the car drive itself? Yes, they would, which is why autonomy, full self-driving, those kind of features is so important. I think that this is a no-brainer change. This is something that's going to happen whether you like it or not over the next decade. And those that are denying this are pretty much ones that love ICE vehicles, they love the engine, they love driving, and I respect that. I'm a huge car guy myself as well, but I just gotta face the reality of it. Those times are past us, and the future is autonomy, the future is electric. Now, another thing interesting that I've seen is lack of education when it comes to electric vehicles when compared to their counterpart ICE vehicles. If you go to your parents or someone your parents' age and ask them, hey, what do you think about Teslas? More often than not, you're greeted with, not really a huge fan, batteries, gotta charge that all the time, who knows how long it's gonna last, autonomy, I don't want this car driving itself, I don't know what's gonna happen, it may crash, and there's just so much skepticism around that, and that's normal with something new that's released. However, the trend that I see is that millennials are much more open to adopting this, and the younger generation is even more willing to adopt this, and Tesla is like top of the list for vehicles that they eventually want to own. Now, while a Tesla may be out of reach for a lot of people, NIO comes in at a cheaper price point in China, so it makes it much more affordable for an SUV, and that's why that business is also growing so well, because you kind of get what Tesla is offering in a cheaper package with, maybe not as good technology, but technology that is improving. Now let's spend a few minutes to discuss what to do with your NIO investment. Now I need to put the disclaimer out there, guys. I'm not a financial advisor, so whatever you choose to do with your money, your decision, make sure you do your own due diligence before you make any decisions in the stock market. That being said, there are two scenarios that I personally see here. The first is that you hold NIO stock today and you're considering cashing out after this big run up. Now personally, my opinion is that I can't fault you for this. The valuation of NIO is getting up there, and if you're up 100, 200% your position, more than that, it's tempting to take profits and just call it a day. However, if you ask me what I'm doing with my position, my philosophy is the same with NIO as with any other stock. I will only sell if the fundamentals change for the worse or if I need the cash for something else. Right now, I'm perfectly fine letting my position in NIO ride. I'm not going to punish a winner. That's something that I see happen way too often. If a stock is winning like NIO is, just let it keep winning. I'm not going to sell it off and then see the stock go up so much more and then say, oh, I wish I held. Nah, none of that. I'm fine letting NIO just ride and just do its thing over time. That being said, I'm not going to add to my shares. I think NIO is trading at a pretty lofty valuation today based on what they do today or even the next year expected. So while I'm holding my position, there's no net new money flowing into the stock, at least from my perspective. That being said, will I add more shares if NIO, say, drops under $20 per share again? Maybe. I'll have to evaluate it at the time, see if there's anything new that's changed that they've announced, that they're improving on, because I do think that NIO has some potential with their battery swap technology, battery as a service, and a few other things going for them that's unique to NIO. But I'm not going to pay crazy valuations for that, and today over $30 per share, I think those are some crazy valuations. Okay, now the second scenario is, say you don't hold NIO today, but you're considering buying today. Now, all I'll say is this scenario is the opposite of buy low, sell high. I'll tell you a very realistic scenario that could play out. You buy into the stock today, great. You go up a little bit in your position for the next few days, and then all of a sudden NIO stock crashes 20%, 30%. What do you do then? You probably will panic, you probably will second guess yourself, say, I wish I didn't buy it, and then sell out at a loss. I see this time and time again. If you buy into NIO stock today, you have to understand you're paying a very, very premium valuation. So you are overpaying for the stock, and you have to be ready to dollar cost average if the stock does go lower. I would not go 100% into a position today if I really, really wanted to get exposure to NIO. I would put in a little bit, maybe a week or two from now, put a little bit more, and just dollar cost average over time. That way, if the stock goes higher, you're still getting some run up. If the stock goes lower, you can lower your cost basis. Win-win situation. In my opinion, hindsight's 2020, and the time to buy NIO was definitely back in 2019. But at that time, there was a lot of risk associated with it, so I understand if you passed on the stock. But guys, don't chase. There's thousands of stocks out there. I personally, if I missed it, I missed it. Let's just focus on the next opportunity. Keep in mind that NIO is expected to release their Q3 results on Tuesday, November 17th. So keep a close eye here because there may be a nice dip to buy into. But regardless of whether you wait for the earnings report and maybe the stock moves higher or lower, or you buy in today, just remember to control your emotions because this can definitely toy with your emotions. But guys, either way, like I said, the one thing I won't do regardless of my strategy is sell my shares today. I'm a long-term holder of NIO. I'll let this play out. Hey, if I lose all my paper gains, so be it. I'm completely fine with that because, the potential is there for this to become a very large company, so I'll just let it play out. Anyways, guys, hope this video was insightful. Hope this video was something of value to you, and if it was, drop a like down below because it helps the channel out tremendously. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.